Hi everybody, we're getting ready. We're about to go on the air in about, well, in about a minute really. So we'll see you in a minute. Cool. All right, good.
Zest for Life Barcelona, welcome guys.
Hi everybody, it's episode 5. We're excited to be with you.
Welcome to Zest for Life Barcelona, and first we're going to kick off with some tunes.
Yeah, let's get moving.
Yes, and then we'll come back for some zesty talks.
Yeah, Vesna's picked some really good music again this week. You guys are going to love it. Enjoy every second of it. It's super loud in this thing.
How do you turn this off?
It's
The
like
music
very-
inside.
Can you lower mine a little bit?
There's another thing. Where is that thing
What's that?
to record?
Yeah, I had to record. And have you gone live on the video?
And where is the live one?
That's- Whatever we were doing before, we were looking at when we were setting the video. It was over here. I think there you go. Just start transmitting.
Where is it?
Over there on the right, so there's something about super loud in this thing.
But it's in the studio as well.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. That's better. Well, that's a little too low now. I don't hear it at all now.
You don't hear it.
No.
I hear it.
A little bit less. A little bit less. A little bit lower. That's perfect. That's good.
But how is it streaming? Is it good streaming? I don't know whether it's loud enough streaming.
You mean on the radio?
Oh yeah,
There's like a separate setting for that. That's not.
Yeah.
We don't do that.
you sure?
No, pretty sure. But he'll come in here if it's not even here.
Okay.
No? Okay, let's see.
So, can I see the list?
Yeah. What's new and good? I'm leading this one. So you just turn it over to me. I put my things that I'm not good, but
Cool.
yeah. So just turn it over to me and I will begin and then I'll ask you yours. Or actually, I'll start with asking you yours, then you can turn it to me. So if you want, you can get the second one set up over there.
No, it's okay. I'll just
Okay,
keep it simple
keep it there.
today.
Nice. Good, even better.
I like
Oh, hi,
keeping
guys.
things simple.
Just keeping it
Step
simple.
by step, you know.
We kind of do a little bit of a different version of the tech every week, so it keeps us on our toes, keeps us very present and in the moment.
Don't you just love the diversity?
Well, it's good for meditation, not necessarily for
Yeah.
putting on a radio
It's
show.
testing my patience, that's for sure.
Oh, right. We're going to be fine. I think we're going to be fine, actually. I think so. I'm not worried about it. Hey,
What's going on?
what's happening? So,
No, but the speakers are...
not hearing us in radio.
What's going on?
Not live on the radio.
I could hear you.
You can hear us.
For a moment.
What is this? Okay, this is not right. Yeah.
I pressed on the play.
Yeah, I know you didn't. You pressed on that one actually. You mustn't press on that. Just press that because you're recording over here.
Oh, we're back.
Zest for Life Barcelona, welcome guys. Thank
everybody.
you for watching. Thank you for being here today. This is episode 5, and we're gonna begin with obviously saying what's
Yeah, we're going to begin the way we always do, which is what's new and good. So I want to know with Vesna, what's new and good, what's been happening this past week?
this past week.
What could you focus on that's been new and good and juicy and zesty?
Not so much juicy and
Oh.
just zesty,
Mm.
more calm and
Mm.
peaceful. I've been waking up and going to watch the sunrise by the beach, on Marbella Beach in Barcelona.
Nice.
Yes, so usually it starts rising around 6:35.
So what time is the alarm on for that kind of an event?
The alarm for that kind of an event is at 6:10 because get ready very quickly, take this bicycle and just cycle down the road.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm kind of inspired by this, actually.
Yeah, you should do it. You know?
Yeah. maybe.
Meditating on the sun. Obviously, the sun is the center of our
Yeah.
solar system, so it's the
Yeah.
energy of life. You know, it gets us closer to our own self-being.
Exactly. When I was training to be a Kundalini yoga instructor, there was a lot of talk about meditation and yoga happening at sunrise and sunset. So that makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah, cool. So that's been the new and good for this week, that you've been going down to the beach most mornings and meditating.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah. What about yourself?
I mean, for me, honestly, the most exciting thing that happened this past week was that my grandmother met my nephew. That was the thing I was most excited about, because my other sister, she's just announced her pregnancy on Facebook, so now I can talk about it. I wasn't able to talk about it before. So I've got a second nephew.
Congratulations!
Thank you very much. So I've got a second nephew coming. So for my sister's baby shower in New York, my grandmother was there from Florida, and my other sister brought the baby from San Francisco to New York.
Wow, that's already too many babies.
Yeah, it's a lot going on in the Anello family right now. So
Yeah,
that
too
was,
many Anellos as well.
Yeah, well, they're not. The babies won't be Anellos. The babies will
Well, they have a blood.
They
so-
do have the blood. That's true.
Yeah, they
So,
have the blood.
Yeah, so that was for me, that was the most exciting thing. And then the other thing that's new and good was that I went also to the beach, not for sunrise, but I did go 2 or 3 times in the past week, which was really nice. And then I had a birthday lunch with one of my really good friends. I call her my wifey from another lifey, my wife from another life.
Okay, well, hi, wife for another life.
Yeah, she took me to lunch yesterday, so that was really nice.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
Good
so
for you.
I enjoyed myself. I had a really good week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm very happy for you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Well, now when the intern was here, she did say something about pressing twice on that.
Yeah,
So you just press play on
Yeah,
She said
so she
press
did
the
press. She said press both.
press the
Wow.
red one and the play.
Yeah, so that might have confused you. 'Cause
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, she did. I
thank
did hear her
you
say
for
that.
that.
Yeah, I did hear her say that.
She's wrong.
Oh, there you go.
Well, now we know.
She's not bad, but she's wrong. All right, good. So now we're live in the air.
Everything's good.
We're good. It's all
Everything's
good.
good.
Nice. Okay, cool. And you got the next song. All right, so you're just doing on that one thing. Okay, cool. All right, so now you're leading the next conversation on allopathic versus naturopathic.
Oh, you can get everything's good. Everything's looking good.
Yeah.
So, well, we've got a dentist jingle to play at 1/2 the hour.
Dentist jingle, okay?
Yeah.
What
does that
time?
say
It's
there? There it is.
it's
It's that one there, isn't
Okay.
it?
Okay.
at what? It's 6:30.
Yeah.
I'll make sure that happens.
Okay.
That's related to the whole discounted whitening.
Yeah, so please mention it. There it is.
Oh,
Get
okay.
50% off your
Oh,
teeth
so
whitening.
that's what you'll say.
Yeah.
And I can help you say it
Dentist
too.
jingle, yeah, get it.
How cool. It's
I need
nice.
to say that.
Yeah.
Say it.
I can say it. No, at 1/2 the hour. I'll tell you. Okay.
Oh, I can play it, no?
The jingle at 1/2 the hour.
Just play the jingle at 1/2 the hour. You can include in your natural passive
Exactly.
during the show. By the way, your
Speaking
teeth,
of,
your teeth could do with a little whitening.
Yes.
yeah, they can't just deal with coconut oil, they can deal with a little oil.
Well, we can,
So,
but
yeah.
don't say that because then they
So
advertise.
there's a competition on the Facebook page
Mm.
where people have to identify the location. Just for playing, they get 50% off.
The location of the dental.
No, the location. There's a location. There's a location.
Your heart's
There's a
just stopped.
screenshot of a different location in Barcelona being posted every
Ah,
day
okay.
this week.
So okay. So if we talk about that, we can do that. All right, cool. All right, good. Definitely keeping us on our toes. Keep us on our toes. The inner workings of a radio station. You guys are seeing it all when you're watching the live stream. That's what's fun about watching the live
Might
stream.
learn actually a thing or two
Yeah.
just by being present with
What
us.
to do,
yeah?
what not to do when you're having a radio show. Yeah.
I'm putting.
And you guys comment if you've got questions, comments. Oh,
Barcelona City FM, welcome back guys, and today we've got a zesty conversation about allopathic and naturopathic medicine.
what are these things, Vesna? What is allopathic and what is naturopathic?
Well, allopathic is basically, it's another term for the conventional type of medicine that is, the normal type of medicine that is being used.
Yes,
you know,
the Western traditional medicine.
Exactly,
Yeah.
where you get where the pharmaceuticals
Mm.
industry are involved, where you get
A diagnosis, things like that.
diagnosis, prescriptions,
Yeah.
treats, curing, prognosis,
Indeed.
therapies, whatever you want to call it.
Indeed.
So it's they follow a specific pattern.
Sure.
And,
Lots of years of study as well. I mean, they're
lots
very-
of years of studies for doctors. Respect for that
yes,
one.
yes, for sure.
Yeah. Then the naturopathic is the holistic approach, which is also a medicinal approach, but holistic, which is focusing more on the connection, on the healing properties that they come from nature. So that is from herbs to spices to plants to type of food to energy therapies, all the holistic.
For the Americans listening, it's herbs. The British is herbs, and the Americans, they say herbs.
Herbs, and herbs, herbs, and herbs, and
Exactly.
herbs,
All of these
herbs,
things.
herbs, sorry.
I would add I would add one thing to what Vesna was saying about naturopathy.
Yeah.
One of the ways that when I think about it, when I talk to people about what that is and how it's different than the allopathic model, is like, it's really, for me, it's more focused on getting out of the way of the body's natural ability to heal itself. I think, there's less of a what's wrong with this person. It's more like what can we remove, what blockages are there to their natural health and well-being. That's how I think about naturopathic.
Well, yes, because the naturopathic doesn't just focus on the actual diagnosis on the problem, but the actual seed of the problem, where did it became? Because you and I, from a holistic aspect and from a health coach's point of view, from what we've done with our practices and experience, we know that everything begins somewhere with a thought, an emotion, and then eventually manifests into the physical, into the body. Exactly.
Indeed.
So this is how the natural medicine, what the focus of the natural medicine is, and we are more inclined, us, me and yourself, we tend to be more inclined toward the naturopathic. However, that does not mean that we dismiss
That's right.
the allopathic medicine, because they both serve a purpose, hence the reason why they're both in this world. You've got the best of two worlds in a way.
For sure.
The idea is not to be extreme and be fanatic in one or the other, but finding that balance between the two, which I think you have a pretty interesting story
I think I do.
that you can share with us about it, and you can tell me more about what happened to you a couple of years ago with your skin.
Yes, I had let's see now, where are we? I'm 42 now, so it was about 10, maybe 11 years ago. I was getting like a yearly skin check because my mother had been diagnosed at one point with basal cell carcinoma, which is a kind of skin cancer, the least scary kind.
Yep.
And so all of her children had to get checked once a year. So I was getting checked, and they would scrape some things occasionally off the skin and then send it to the lab. And usually it was fine, but then this one time they're like, "Oh, it's actually something concerning. We probably want to remove this from you."
Ooh,
and I was at that time especially really into like naturopathic, holistic, and I really thought, I don't want to have surgery. I was in a space where I was kind of in judgment of the allopathic model. And then I had a really good conversation with a good friend of mine named Leeview. If he's ever listening, he'll hear his name and get the name check. He kind of woke me up and he was like, listen, there's a time and a place for naturopathy and for holistic things. And then also sometimes when it's gone as far as it's gone for you, where there's actual cancerous cells on your skin now, maybe you should consider letting a doctor cut those cells out of you. So basically, that's what I did. I ended up doing that. And
but how much were you in conflict?
Well, I was in a lot of conflict about it. And then the way that I let myself make that decision, there were two ways that I was able to do that. First was I went to go see an Ayurvedic practitioner at the time, and she helped me to see, this is really interesting. She's like, she's like, you're saying that you don't want to have this surgery. She's like, but you, and because I was saying I don't want to have the surgery because it means that I won't be able to go in the sun anymore, and I really love to be at the beach, in the water, in the sun, and then, like it's nice. And then she's like, well, do you think you're more powerful than the sun? And she's like, what if you just gave the sun its due between 10 a.m. and whenever those hours are that the sun is strongest? So I realized it was my ego that was stopping me from getting that treatment, that allopathic treatment that probably saved my life. I mean, eventually those cancer cells could have gone to other organs in my body. So, so I'm glad that I did that at the time. And then the other thing that somatic work that I've addressed on other shows, I checked in with my own body, my own breath, my energy, and my emotions about it. And I really did that right before the surgery, and I knew that it was okay. Like for me, myself, I got present to this was the right choice for me. And so I just danced between the allopathic and the naturopathic ever since.
And when you originally told me the story, there was something that really stuck with me that she told you that resonated a lot, which it does make a lot of sense that I would definitely use it in future.
Yeah.
The power of the sun.
Yeah, she's like, who do you think? She's like, but she didn't say it in a mean way. You know, she was like, just, you know, why would you think that you're more powerful than the sun? The sun is the most powerful thing in this area of the universe. Like, so that this happened to you is just a cue for you to check your ego a little bit and realize that you're not more powerful than everything. Like you have limits.
Yeah, and that it's okay to use some form of an allopathic treatment when it's necessary.
And this was coming from an Ayurvedic practitioner directly from India. Like she even was saying that. So I really, I'm appreciative. Her name is Pratima. She's in New York.
Hi, Pratima.
I don't know if she's still practicing. I hope she is. She's absolutely incredible. She also does beautiful skin treatments and beauty treatments. Yeah. So that's my story about it. Ever since then, I've really paid attention to both, and I really value both. I actually do.
It's amazing, you know, and it is true. Like we really need to think sometimes, you know, how powerful actually the sun is, or how powerful nature is.
Yes.
In general, and you know, try to not force nature and go against nature, but really try to flow with nature.
I like to flow with nature. Nice. Good conversation. Feels good to talk about it, actually. I haven't talked about it in public before. I've talked about it with friends and family, but not public. It's good.
Always good.
Now, is this the Freakin' song? Which song are we on? I'm just curious.
No idea.
Oh, okay. Oh, Freaking out. That's what it should be. Cool. It's a 6-minute song, so I'm just
What's next?
So we were going to talk more about it. We kind of touched on, because we said continue the conversation talking about allopathic versus naturopathic, reaffirming the value of the medical, which we kind of already did.
But we
So I can actually look and see how many questions or comments.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't shared the live stream from Barcelona. So
I did on
Oh,
mine.
you did? Okay, I haven't done it yet. I'm going to do that for you now. I'm going to share the stream on my personal Facebook. Where is it? Okay, I've shared now. Nice.
So no, but like we can point out the fact that, you know, it really is about finding that balance in life, you know, between the two, and that.
I could say like how it's been since then, and how I've modified my behavior in response to like respecting the sun a bit more. And
Exactly, and then music.
Anti-cancerous foods. You can talk about like sugar, how sugar is a, you know, like
Yeah.
I've thought about that more since then. I've been more careful with those kind of things.
Yeah, again, I can add on to the sugar side.
Exactly.
How,
And any other
it's
cancer-fighting
feeling,
food stuff.
Yeah.
No, we can talk about that. Yes.
Well, add any type of saturated fat.
Mhm.
It's the bad type of fat, you know, like because it's not monounsaturated fatty
Okay.
acids, which are the healthy ones. You know, any type of bad fat,
Mhm.
processed food
Mhm.
type of fat. You know,
How about trans fats?
trans fats as well? Yeah.
Are they still eating trans fats in the States? I'm not up to
I
speed
think
on
many
it.
people.
But I think there was like I don't know if it was trans fats or high fructose corn syrup recently in the States. They finally, I think they're cutting it out somehow. Like,
Well, you should
or it has to be
know that-
labeled maybe or something.
I think it needs to be labeled. I doubt that they'll just cut it out like that. You know, it's a massive market.
Yeah. I know that the trans fats now are labeled in the States. You can see it on the actual nutrition label. They put regular, like fat, saturated, unsaturated, and trans, have what grams of each. But the high fructose corn syrup, maybe it's just more that it's being labeled more and people are choosing against it. Like the public is smarter about it now.
Well, they have to be
Yeah.
because it's one of the worst.
When it's connected to obesity, it's directly linked to obesity. So we got it.
So we can talk about it.
Cool. Sure. shared it and it's not showing on my...
Just reload the page.
I just did, but it didn't load. Let me see. Oh, I know what I'm doing. I shared it on Barcelona City FM because I was as Barcelona City FM on there. You gotta be careful. Like when you go on the Barcelona City FM Facebook, it thinks you're Barcelona City FM and not me. So
I'm just about to go back.
Okay.
Because this one is.
Just give me 1 second.
So this is the one, the British jingle mix down that we need to do now.
What's that?
6:30, the British jingle. Yeah?
At 6:30, 10 minutes. Yeah. The dentist.
Zest for Life Barcelona. We are back, folks, and we're going to continue talking about the zesty conversation on...
I'm feeling awfully naked and vulnerable telling that it's a very personal story about my own health, and I just share it with everybody.
I think vulnerability is beautiful.
Oh, thank you very much.
I mean, you can take off your clothes.
It's not that kind of show, Vesna.
It doesn't have to be.
No, it doesn't.
Just
Well,
like, it's getting hot in here.
if we turn the
already,
video
just
cameras
speaking
off, maybe, but otherwise not.
You sure about that?
I'm pretty sure about that.
Okay.
Yes.
Have you noticed something?
What?
We're both wearing red, baby.
I know. Well, mine's more orangey. Yours is like a salmon color, I think.
Yeah,
right?
salmon.
Yes, and the girls are out.
Good fish.
The girls are out today.
Good, good fish. Yes.
Exactly.
Catch me if you can.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, she does have a man. Let's be clear.
Yes, let's be clear.
Okay, and he's a very good-looking man as well.
Oh,
I think he is. I think he's very good-looking.
he is.
Yes, sweet man.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey,
Well,
babes.
Yeah.
Do you hear what he's saying?
No, I'm not gonna flirt with him, but I just think he's attractive. He's an attractive guy.
Yeah, I think he's very attractive
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
Oh, I'm sure you do. You've been with him for a while. That makes sense.
Anyway, see,
Oh.
speaking of love and attraction, you know,
Yes.
that goes the same with your personal health.
Mm.
You know, the law of attraction and
Okay.
what you bring it in.
Interesting bridge she's making here, ladies
Well,
and gentlemen.
of course, you know, everything is connected. You know, you gotta connect the dots. So
Okay.
what we were speaking about
Yeah.
before, tell me more about your story. What
Yeah.
happened afterwards?
Yeah, so just like I
When
got.
you removed the cancer.
Yeah. I got that message from Fatima, and it was, I decided to have the surgery, and then it was like, I think that was probably in the back of my mind when I considered registering at the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, because I had already been interested in nutrition, and then I just, like when they had topics about anti-cancer or foods that might be naturally fighting cancer, I was paying more attention when I was doing that, and I learned about the impact that sugar can have on and that it creates an environment for cancer. So I don't know a lot about the specifics of that because my coaching practice doesn't deal specifically with those kind of things with nutrition, but I know.
Well, it feeds the cancer cells.
Yeah, I think-
Any sugar and fat, fat and sugar, they do feed the cancer cells.
Yeah, and that's great. So that's why having done the sugar cleanse the last couple of months is probably really good for me to do if I'm prone to having. They say because if you get skin cancer once, I've got to get checked every year basically.
On a regular basis.
Yeah.
Right.
So there could be like. We know now that there's cancer cells in our bodies all the time. Actually, everyone listening to this show,
we have them.
you have cancer cells. So that it's not like...
It's part of your nature.
Yes.
Okay. The only thing is that how much you feed them.
Yes, exactly. How strong is the immune system to
Exactly.
take care of it, right?
So how do you strengthen your immune system?
Yeah.
Is by eating healthy, natural, sustainable foods.
Now we're in Vesna's wheelhouse. This is where
Ooh,
Vesna shines.
like where you eliminate processed foods,
Yes.
where you eliminate, foods that they contain trans fats, where
Exactly.
but the good healthy fats
Yeah.
instead, where you eliminate any type of sugar apart from the fruit, everything that comes from nature. I mean, it's a common sense.
Yeah.
Anything that is from nature, it can only feed you because us as human beings, as animals, we come from nature.
Okay.
So the more we are connected with nature through food and other holistic
Mhm,
practices,
mhm.
such as from your
Sure.
perspective and
yeah.
expertise, meditation
Mhm.
and
Somatic work, body
somatic
work.
work, exactly, the more in an alkaline and healthy,
Mhm.
balanced state we are.
Exactly. And then the other thing I've just practically done is I didn't always put on sunscreen before. You know,
Me neither.
and I thought, oh, it's okay. And I'm like, oh, my skin's pretty dark. I'm Italian American. Like, I've got relatively dark skin. But you do need to have that ego check and be like, listen, that sun is really powerful. It's a gigantic nuclear reactor. It's 90 million miles away, but it's super intense and powerful. And you've got to be careful. You've got to protect yourself and maybe not go out at noon without sunscreen on the beach in Barcelona.
Get your factor 50 out. I know it sounds like it's a lot, but really, especially for women, and if you want to keep your shiny, healthy, youthful skin,
yes,
you know, like, and avoid wrinkles, then definitely you have to protect yourself.
And I've done a decent job of protecting myself from wrinkles. I do look pretty good for 42, I think.
Oh, baby.
I want to give a shout out to Elisa. She just commented. It's my friend Elisa. She's Canadian, but she lives in Connecticut, and I just want to say hi to Lisa. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Elisa.
Elisa.
Yes.
Hi, Elisa. Do you like our show?
I hope she does. She said hi, hi, Maddie. XOXOXO. She doesn't know you yet, but she'll love you when she knows you.
Okay. Big kiss to you. I love you too. Although I don't know.
I'll show you some pictures later.
Yeah. Speaking of
Yeah.
the power of the sun and the sunscreen as well, and now here is where the naturopathic medicine overpowers the allopathic, because I am GoPro for a natural type of based sunscreen.
Yes,
you know,
of
with
course.
no chemicals, with no any pathogens,
Yes.
with no added, alcohol.
Parabens, you mean parabens?
Parabens,
Yeah.
sorry, pathogens. Sorry, that is bad bacteria in your digestive system.
We don't want that either.
No, we don't want that either. No parabens, no alcohol. Natural, from nature, made of natural products that can still has a strong factor, can protect you, and at the same time, it's not causing other issues.
Yes.
Because it's, sometimes with the allopathic medicine, certain things is like you heal one thing, but then you destroy another.
You give me an idea for my next book, Conscious Sunbathing.
Conscious sunbathing.
The secret to conscious sunbathing.
Is that what are you planning?
I'm joking. I'm
not joking.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe we're going to write a book together, Vesna and I. There is one other thing I wanted to say about the sun and about the skin. So, because definitely what Vesna said about don't just go slap on any kind of cream that could have all kinds of weird chemicals in it. And then I also, it is important that sometimes you do get some actual sun exposure. Like don't never get sun, because doesn't the skin create a certain nutrient, like a certain vitamin?
No, it's the vitamin D that we get from the sun. We need that.
Yeah.
But there's another thing that's been recent studies done, is that when you get exposed, when you're on the beach for the day, okay, if you really want to feed your body through your skin with natural vitamin D from the sun, realistically, you should not be taking a shower for 48 hours afterwards.
Oh, no, this is new. So you're saying if I get the sun on my skin, the vitamin D doesn't get produced if I take a shower for the next 2 days?
Yeah, so to really reap the benefits of the sun, you should not take a shower for 48 hours.
Now there's going to be people in my life that are laughing, because I'm known to sometimes skip a day showering, and I know that embarrasses my mom and my sisters. But sometimes,
why?
Because I don't always feel like I'm very dirty. I don't think I need to always take a shower.
I tell you something, eat dirt and make yourself dirty. And I mean this in another way, because the skin contains so much of our good bacteria, natural living bacteria, that they are protecting us from the outside world, that if we shower every day, with non-natural type of products, they're exposed to chemicals, parabens and alcohol again, we just keep on stripping away.
So you're saying
all that good bacteria.
I'm hearing, in my mind, I'm hearing you say, don't shower every day.
Don't shower every day.
Okay, good. I'm not going to shower every day.
I don't mean, become stinky, but like shower every second day. It's okay, I guess it's a bit, or if you, of course, here it's quite hot and sticky, the climate in Barcelona, so at least don't use shower gel, expose yourself, wash your body with a cold water to refresh yourself, but don't use shower gel every day, because you're really killing all the good bacteria that it's protecting you on the skin, who is the barrier of the outside that is directly linked to our digestive system, which is the barrier from the inside.
She's pulling it all together,
I'm
folks. If
pulling
you
it
guys
all
are
together.
watching on Facebook Live, make sure you comment. Let us know how often you shower and whether you're showering with natural products or traditional ones. That's what we're curious about.
Yeah, let us know how stinky you are.
We're
basically.
weirdos. Yeah, we're weirdos. We want to hear about it. So funny.
In 1 minute, I need to put this. Okay.
Yeah, so maybe when we come back from the... Or you, during the song you can do it, right?
Yeah.
You can, yeah, if there's a...
Now. But why I don't hear it?
I don't know. Is it chosen which one it is? Click it again one more time. Look,
It's
but
something.
look within here.
But is this, no?
Oh yeah, he said it was already there. I don't think that's
What's
it.
that? -21, -20.
Mm,
Can you ask?
yeah, I'm gonna ask him.
Kisses to everyone.
We want to play a jingle and it's not playing.
Right, so I tried the jingle, but I'm not hearing it on the headphones. It's not playing.
Okay, did you have the audio channel up, the jingle channel up here?
Ah,
Ta-da!
You
That's
need
it.
to come.
GC Jim. Right, okay.
Boom. That's it.
You need to come to my radio course.
His course in radio.
You do?
Radioing. Well, we don't even know. Are we still there?
On Facebook Live, but you're not there.
But they can hear me. That's what I'm saying.
Sure, Facebook Live can hear you.
All right. So we'll talk after the show about like where we're going to be and whether we're still going to be in the room.
Are your teeth white enough? Want to add sparkle to your smile?
Okay, honey, why are you playing the jingle now, darling?
Reduce dental
Didn't you say in the middle of it? When doing the song?
That was actually
No.
okay. It didn't sound so bad.
No. Right,
That
this,
didn't sound bad, actually.
no. Okay, so this is a commercial. Commercials, we don't play over songs. Jingles, you play over songs.
Alright, so when the song is off, you want to play the jingle.
Yeah.
Okay,
Perfect.
sorry.
We were referring to it as a jingle. We were saying jingle, so that was.
Yeah.
I just like to check something. Oh, are you going to talk now?
No, we've got time.
It's a long song, actually. Well, I think what we can do is before the show, in the future, we can ask if there's going to be any ads.
Commercials.
Yeah,
or
I'm going to make that on
jingles.
my list of things. Yes! That's it.
Are your teeth white enough? Want to add sparkle to your smile?
So that's as we're coming back in before we start talking.
Yeah, that's the commercial. Great.
Alright, within 2-3 minutes, I'll put it on. What's next? The power of gratitude.
Gratitude, yep.
And then,
And who's leading that one? Am I leading that one?
I think so.
I'm leading that one. And then one song, then what do we have to do between this show and the next show? So we've got a lot of time actually still. We can let this play the whole song probably. Hmm? Well, we have to talk about that because I don't want to talk. I'm like talking in code right now.
I
Yeah,
know.
so we just let it go for now because we're on the air and then we'll talk about that.
Right, so pick a
We've got-
subject we need to talk about something else.
So we got gratitude. Let's ask any question. How did it go so fast? I don't know how that's possible. We really want to know what you want to hear us talk about. We were having fun talking about what we're talking about, but if you want to hear us address any particular questions you've got around health, wellness, living an empowered life, just, clarity, focus, life purpose, anything like that, just comment below and I'll make sure I check the comments. Because we actually are going faster than we thought we were, so we're going to check again. Let's see.
No, okay, the power of gratitude is one thing,
Yeah.
but there's another. How
What
can
be-
you actually prevent from, having a low immune system? How can you support
Supporting the immune
your
system.
mind, body, and emotions?
okay.
What are the self-care secrets?
I like it.
What do you do for you?
Self-care secrets. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But power of gratitude is is part of them. So I would say maybe I would start with self-care secrets
Mhm.
and then
Mhm.
mention the power of gratitude last.
I don't think about them as the same thing. Gratitude for me is not a self-care thing, it's more like a mental clarity thing. I mean, I guess you can define self-care however you
I
want
would-
to for yourself, but for me it's not that way. I would,
Okay for you,
Yeah.
for me it is. So I would
Mhm.
say because like the way I care about myself is the way I care about my thoughts. The way I
Mhm.
care about my thoughts is the way how much gratitude I express about my life.
Okay.
So the things that we can actually discuss this.
Mhm. Exactly. It's a good illustrative point about self-care and what it is for different
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. So
Cool.
back to our individuality.
Mhm. Self-care individuality.
Self-care individuality.
So you want to start with that and then go to gratitude afterwards?
Whatever you want.
Well, you're going to pull them back.
Am
so-
I the one
Yeah.
that's
Well, I'm leading it, but you're pulling them back, so what do you want to do?
Well, I'm doing the commercial.
Okay.
So
Alright, so I'm going to choose the
then
moment.
you can
I'm going
start
to choose the
with
moment. Choose the moment.
So I'm gonna start with the commercial now.
Are your teeth white enough? Want to add sparkle to your smile? Then guess the Barcelona location on the British Dental Clinic Facebook page. Receive 50% off just for paying.
Zest for Life Barcelona, we are back again.
Barcelona City FM, we're excited to talk with you again. We've got extra time today. Somehow in our prepared outline for the show, we were moving faster than we thought we would. So we're going to talk about self-care. And this is a really juicy topic for me. It's something that I really avoided I wasn't even aware of what self-care was until I went to the nutrition school that we both went to.
Yeah. Can you hear me
I can hear you perfectly.
on your headphones?
Right here in my headphones.
Because I can't hear myself.
Interesting.
It's completely- Yeah,
All
it's
right.
very interesting.
Yes.
As long as you can hear
I can
me,
hear you perfectly.
but I can't hear you either.
Okay. Maybe
So-
take your headphones off then so you can hear at least my voice.
No, it's not about that. What I just want that it's streamed right on the actual radio.
Mhm.
That's what I want to know.
Mhm. Well, Jim will come running in here if it's not on the radio, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure. Now you've
Okay.
turned my audio off.
Can you hear yourself
Yes,
now?
now I
Okay.
can, yeah.
So, self-care
yeah.
secrets.
Yeah, well, it's like I was saying like how, for the whole concept of self-care just seemed so alien to me when I first heard about it. Like I didn't even know what that meant. Even though I was already practicing yoga and doing things for myself, I didn't know that it was important to take care of myself beyond like exercise and food, basically.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like for you before you learned about what self-care was?
Well, the thing is that one thing or two things I always did without even knowing that it's a part of self-care, or like I haven't really like used the term or defined this as a part of a self-care, is training and eating the right nutrition.
Mm.
So that has always been part of my life. It kind of began when I was about 14, because I went to United States for 3 months for my 13th birthday, and I gained weight and I was in my puberty and wanted to look nice and good, so that's when I started paying attention to food and nutrition, and my dad was very into it,
Yeah.
So that continued, right? It continued, feeding myself with the right food, and then I started training. And it became part of a lifestyle. It wasn't anymore something that I must do. It's something that it became like having food every day.
Yeah. So self-care for you initially was exercise and food.
And food.
Yeah.
And it stayed
Okay.
ever since.
And that's still there. And then have you added additional things that you do for
Yes.
yourself?
Ever since, I've added lots of additional things, which is I've done meditation before. I'm slowly getting back into it again. For me, the power of gratitude, expressing thank you and gratitude, for being thankful for the things I do every day and things that they come into my life. I also see it as a part of self-care. I don't know how you feel about it.
I do feel a lot of things about it. I was going to share more about it after the next.
No problem.
Yeah.
No problem. So that's one thing. Then, of course, when I can treat myself with some holistic therapy, whether that is me receiving Reiki therapy from somebody else, or massage, treating my body. Self-care for me is spending time in nature,
Mm.
hugging trees, as crazy
Yeah.
as it sounds, but it's part of self-care for me. What else is connecting with the sea,
Mm.
being by the beach, sun gazing at
Yeah.
sunrise. It's another form of meditation of me being at the present moment. Putting lotion on my body,
Mhm.
coconut oil on my
Mhm,
body,
mhm.
masks for my hair,
Mhm.
the feminine
Yeah,
things.
sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, for me in the beginning when I first heard about it, it was like I had to literally put it in my calendar or I wouldn't do it. Like it was so, I don't know if it's just the culture that I came from or being a man versus a woman, like the
Mhm.
idea of something like getting a facial or some, or taking a hot long bath. These kind of things for me seemed not to be okay for me to do. So I had to actually put it in my calendar and say, make myself do it, especially as I started coaching lots of people. I noticed that the demands on my energy were higher, and so I needed to start learning how to take care of myself. And so I do different things. Basically, once a week, I've got a reminder so that I make sure that I do something. So it could be like I'll do a restorative yoga practice where you don't have to do a lot of efforting. It's kind of just using props, and you can relax into it. Sometimes I do give myself a facial now. Both of my sisters have worked in the aesthetic world.
Have they?
Yeah, one worked as a beauty. I cannot know how to describe it. Like on what the products that are beauty products on a flash sale site. So she has a lot of access to those things. My other sister worked at Jurlique, which is an Australian organic skincare company, biodynamic organic. And
Nice.
so I used to get a lot of products from both of them. So I would learn to do that for myself. Sometimes I'd organize a massage for myself. When we first met, that was one of my parts of self-care, was just to get a massage and Reiki from Vesna. So I just make sure that once a week I do something like that. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really important. And if I don't have it in my calendar, it's not going to happen. So I make sure that I put it in my calendar, my to-do list.
So you make sure that it happens.
Absolutely.
I can't hear anything.
You can't. No,
Nothing.
the sound went really high in my ears.
Yeah,
all the
it's
time.
off, completely off.
I don't know what happened.
Can you ask him, because he switched something and I'm worried whether I'm,
You're definitely being heard.
but on yours.
Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
I don't even hear the speaker, nothing.
He's not here. He's just the guy there. We're on our own.
No, but if it's not going live on radio,
Well, we can listen on. I can listen somehow.
try?
I can use my earphones on my computer and listen. How long is the song? Is it long?
yes, about 6 minutes.
Could you lower the audio on my headphones?
Can you tell
Should
me?
be the right, upper right. Should be the upper right. It was before, but it's not now. And that one should be all the way down always, because that's the inside of the studio.
Yeah, but that's from the PC, this is the iPad.
Okay.
We can't even
So
hear
then
it.
try the. No, it's not that one. It's that one. That's fine. Thank you.
And why I can't hear it, I don't know. Literally, even this, nothing.
Hmm?
Even this is not working. Like when I speak, it's not there.
It's not in there, but it's
Yeah.
in my thing.
On the radio, no?
Hmm?
On the radio.
Well, once we come back on, I'll listen to hear if you're speaking, if I can hear you.
What did he do? I have no idea.
That's so cool. I can hear it from the website. Good song. If you've got self-care things that you do that you want to share with the rest of the listeners, I welcome your comments below. I mean, does anyone else give themselves a facial like I do? That's pretty weird, right? Like, usually you go to someone to give you a facial, but I do my scrubbing and my cleaning, and what do I do? It's like a 3-step process. I've got a little machine that my sister gave me that's like a vibrating machine, and it vibrates the skin, like the pores, and cleans the pores out. Listen, I'm 42, okay? I gotta take care of the skin.
I'll tell you a good homemade natural scrub.
What's up?
You can do honey with sugar.
Sugar?
Yeah.
Just add sugar to the honey.
Yeah, or honey with salt.
It's gonna get really sticky, huh?
Yeah,
Pretty
it's
quick.
gonna get sticky, but you're properly scrubbing, your face.
Wow.
Honey with salt.
Exfoliating.
Exfoliating, yeah, that's the word. But proper sea salt, it's better to get it from a bio store.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Now we can talk just purely about gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wish if I could figure out what's going on. It's none of them.
Mm. It's weird that it's always with your headphones, because even last time you were sitting here, but it was your headphones.
Yeah, and he's pressed some buttons, and now I don't know what's anymore.
Yeah. Vesna can't hear herself in her headphones or me, so she's not sure that you guys are hearing her. Well, the people that are live on the radio.
Yeah, I know you can hear me because we're live on Facebook, but obviously it's important that it's streamed properly on 107.3 FM.
Otherwise, it just sounds like I'm talking to myself, and that's pretty weird.
Yes.
That would be weird. Oh, it's like a delay. There's this and then. So I'll give you the thumbs up when I hear you on the radio, on your voice. So let you know.
When I'm coming back.
Well, once you come back, I'll be able to hear you if you're speaking, and I'll let you know that you're on the radio.
But you're not listening, you're listening?
Yeah, both. You listen there and here.
Okay. What time is it now?
6:46.
We need to go for it now. After this. I'm going to start with the dentist jingle.
Okay.
And maybe just tell them that there's a get 50% of teeth whitening when you mention Barcelona.
Yeah. If you're in Barcelona and you're watching this, you can get 50% off teeth whitening when you mention Barcelona City FM. So go to the Barcelona City FM Facebook page, or you're already on there if you're watching this, or maybe not. And you can, if you guess the correct location of something, you're going to get 50% off your teeth whitening. So.
I absolutely love this tune on Barcelona City FM, that we just played, which is from Fateless.
Super nice.
Do you remember?
I've actually
Such a good old tune.
I don't remember. I don't actually remember that song on the radio anyway.
The Music Matters. Yeah, this is a remix, but the original is The Music Matters from Fateless.
Okay.
I watched them live many years ago on the forum. They were playing live.
I just really remember them from that one, I Can't Get No Sleep. That was them, right? Like,
Yeah, that was quite a popular one.
Yeah, I think that's the only one that kind of made it to the States at the time.
Cool. Before we continue, I just wanted to let you know, guys, for those of you that you are in Barcelona, located in Barcelona, and you're listening live right now on the audio, you can get 50% off of teeth whitening when you mention Barcelona City FM. Is it in the comments below over Facebook?
No, I think it's when you go to this teeth whitening place. But they've got to go to the actual place.
Oh, the actual place.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
So if you want more information, it's on Barcelona City FM's Facebook page.
Yeah, and you can send a message if you want to know more about it.
Whiten those teeth, tan skin, carefully with the cream and carefully, but then white teeth and tan skin, not bad.
Yeah. Speaking of naturopathic medicine and allopathic medicine, that's one thing that, for example, with teeth whitening. Recently, there's been a lot of studies and research about the benefits of using coconut oil and like the oil pulling in the morning.
Yes.
That is good, obviously, for protecting the gums, protecting the teeth, because it's pulls out all the toxins and bacteria that builds up throughout the night when we sleep. But at the same time, it whitens our teeth. That is true, but it is a very, very long process, and I don't think it's gonna reach the same results as you would go to a dentist teeth whitener. So that doesn't mean that I'm fully 100% on for it, you know, for teeth
Well, you can
whitening.
do both. I mean, because the pulling with the coconut oil gives other benefits as well beyond teeth whitening.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure. And so again, it's about finding that balance between the two.
Just like we talked about earlier, allopathic and naturopathic together again.
Together again.
Isn't that nice? So we want to talk a little bit more about, because you asked me before about gratitude and kind
Yes, tell me more about it.
Yeah, I've only recently actually gotten into this deeply. I'm doing this thing called the self journal. I'm not sure if I've mentioned it on the air before, but it's part of this thing. Every day when I wake up, I identify 3 things I'm grateful for before I even, like, I get out of bed first, but then I write down 3 things I'm grateful for, and then before I go to sleep every night, I'm writing down 3 things that happened that day that I'm grateful for, and it's just nice. It's a nice way to focus the mind, because otherwise, if I wake up and I don't do that, I'm just going to go right to, well, what needs to get done today, or what's wrong with my life, or what do I need to improve, and I don't focus on what I already have to be grateful for. So it's been a really nice practice for me. I also sometimes, when I used to do a lot more work at Landmark Education, I used to, when I had conversations with people, we would emphasize that. I don't do as many of those right now, since I'm not doing a lot of work with Landmark Education. But you can create this with anyone in your life. You can create it with, we even, when we're doing our talks between our shows, we're starting to get conscious about.
Prepare.
Yeah, we review or prepare.
A little bit.
We want to make sure we're all set for you guys. So, we've been putting in acknowledgement, things like acknowledgement and gratitude, which are different things. We can talk about that on another show. Yeah.
So in terms, would you call the attitude of gratitude as part of a self-care?
So I know that you think that for me, it's not, it's more like a separate thing. It's kind of like I would say it's an empowering tool that I use. I actually don't think of it like self-care. It's interesting. It's a good point. Like I just haven't filed it in that file yet for myself. Like I wouldn't consider, it doesn't like rise to it's not like, I think of self-care more like kind of decadent, or something that I do just super nice for myself, not necessarily just an empowering thing. That's what I think.
Anyway, again, back to bio-individuality, everybody is different. For me, for example, it is part of a self-care method, self-care practice, and I don't do it three things I'm grateful for. I tend to do it in the morning because I just like to start my day in a positive way, and reflect to the things that happened the day before. But sometimes if I feel writing one thing to be grateful for, I feel one. I write one. If it's for 3, if it's 5. So really there's no rule. It's about what really resonates with you the most, and
floats
it's
your
about
boat, Vesna.
Exactly. It's about bringing that, bringing yourself to that higher state of
vibration,
happiness, feeling good about yourself.
Perfect. I love it. Yeah, I was hearing you on that. I was hearing you on the live video. So
really?
Yeah.
It's horrible not to be able to listen to it.
I can imagine. It's not happened to me yet, but I can imagine.
What's the name of the guy? Ado? What's his first name?
Who?
Who's coming next? It's
his name is not Adam, no. It's Mario.
Ado. Okay.
Yeah.
And what is he doing?
I don't know. He's playing electronic music.
Okay.
That's what I know. I guess we can look on the schedule for him and see what it is. Because it's not Bizarre Magazine. Usually it's Bizarre Magazine, but it's not.
It's alright.
So we're supposed to talk about really quickly what we're up to this week.
And then another. And before what we're up to, we're going to talk. We're finishing off with the last tune of Europe.
Yeah, we've only got 7 minutes. So.
And then we've got, if you're in the mood for electronic music,
Yeah, cool. Yeah, because we've got 7 minutes, so I'll just.
No, it's cool.
Perfect.
Time flies, as always.
It's incredible. I really, I come in this room and it's like a snap and then we're done.
Yeah. But I like it. It's just perfect. We say what we need to say, and we are quite clear, I think, in the way we communicate. sometimes we're not clear with our feelings and emotions because still figuring out technical stuff, and there's always something that changes. So I'm a very expressive person, so if you see my face changes from time to time, that means that I'm trying to blow some
If she
steam.
don't like it, she'll let you know.
Exactly.
And that's healthy. You don't want the emotions to get stuck in your body. You want to let that stuff out.
No.
It's
Because
really
then they
important.
come out the wrong way to the wrong person at the wrong
We
time.
don't want that. We don't want that.
You know,
Not
so
what we want.
it's always nice to be in the
In
truth.
the moment,
In the
baby.
moment, in the truth.
Yes. Gorgeous. So we know which song is the outro one? So you want to leave this one about the...
Zest for Life Barcelona, we're almost finishing, nearly the end, guys. It went quite quick. I hope you liked today's topics.
Time to say goodbye already.
Already time to say goodbye. What are you up to?
This week, let's see.
Yeah.
What am I? I actually wrote it down because there are so many things that are happening for me this week.
Ooh, zesty.
Yeah, there's a shamanism conference. That could be something we end up talking about in a future show. I've
I
been
would
getting
be
into
interested
it.
in that.
Yeah, I've been getting into it a little bit. So there's an online conference which I'll be part of, or I'll not be presenting. I'll be listening to. And then the other show here on the station called Nick and Noah. They're it's about Barcelona and how to know about Barcelona better if you're living here.
Yep.
They've invited me to come on, and I'm going to promo our
Awesome.
show with them, so that's going to be cool. And then I've got a bunch of, I'm attracting a lot of interns right now. So I've already got one, and I've got two others that are interested. So I'm meeting with those two new ones to see if I'm going to take them on as interns.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So you've got quite a pretty busy schedule
It's busy.
this week.
But I'm going to make sure that I go to the beach at least once. What about you? What are you up to?
I'm definitely going to the beach. I have some friends over coming on Friday for a visit just overnight. Saturday I've got an important meeting about putting things together in the right place with my business.
Perfect.
Decluttering.
Yes.
At the moment I'm in a phase of decluttering lots of stuff, material things that I don't need anymore in my wardrobe, decluttering emotions, decluttering thoughts, everything I can, I just want to simplify.
It's a good point. People usually think about decluttering only as something you do in your physical space, but also with your commitments and your emotional space as well. It's important.
Exactly. So guys, we're going to close down now. We have next guest coming. His name is Mario Aro, who is in the mood for listening electronic music. Then please tune in right after this. And we're going to say big thank you and big love you with Bjork.
Adieu, adios. Bye for now, guys.
Have a great time. Have a great week ahead.
Nice. Okay. There we go. This one, and this one, and this one. Okay. Oh, yeah, you can turn that off.
You can turn that off.
Right,
And
turn
this one when the song is...
Bye, guys.